On the Nigerian Television Authority, I'm so elated to be on your screen today, and I'm happy to have my colleague back in the house. You're
Wow,
welcome.
it's been wonderful. Hello, I am Falashade. Good morning, and I know you've been doing a good job while I was away. It's good to be on holidays to rest.
Yes, it's good to rest so
Yeah,
that you have
yes,
enough to
and
dish out, to entertain us and make our program more spicy.
well, good morning, my viewer out there. It's been wonderful. At least I know that you've been enjoying this program, and it's wonderful being back with you on this program today. And today we're going to give you the best and on the program, and we're going to give you several things like we have been doing to make your Saturday morning an enlightening and very educative and entertaining one. And then we're going to do all this today. We're not going to leave anyone out. I am Niyi Omotenshi saying, welcome to the program this morning.
And I'm Folashade Famakiwa. Well, our first port of call on this program today is our weekly mirror segment, and our guest is set to join us in the studio shortly. We'll be looking at the topic, the new curriculum for this new session by the federal government of Ondo State and Ondo State government. We'll be looking at the different policies that have been introduced into our school, and we have a special guest. When he's with us, you get to meet him.
And of course, the entertainment segment will not be left out this morning, and the sports segment also will be coming your way to give you a balanced diet, on this program today.
All right, so let's go on a short break. After this time out, our first port of call will be on air. Stay tuned.
Your currency unit is the Naira, while the minor unit is the Kobo. They are both in notes and coins. The Naira is more than just a medium of exchange. It bears the images of our heroes. So, stop abusing the Naira. It is a criminal offense to spray the Naira at events. Stop stepping on the Naira. It's not your enemy. Do not squeeze, ruffle, or write on the Naira. Handling the Naira with dirty or oily hands can deface the Naira. Love the Naira as you love yourself. Be a real Nigerian. Do not abuse the Naira.
Have you been aspiring to be a student of the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University Zaria to no avail? Worry no more, as you can gain entry through NTA Television College Jos, an affiliate of the renowned Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, where eligible candidates with a JAM admissible scores of not less than 180 and 100 scores, and with 5 credits O-level in social sciences including English and mathematics, can turn their passion in broadcasting to profession by applying for a BSc in mass communication and MBTE approved innovation diploma courses in film and television production, broadcast journalism and television engineering respectively. The college, as a training hub with a pedigree of professionalism in the media space, also offers specialized courses in other related fields. For more information, visit our website at www.ntatvc.edu.ng or contact 08033 834 343 and 080 69 809 897. Announcer Man.
All right, the program is still Dynamic Diet on the Nigerian Television Authority, and we are onto our weekly mirror segment. Like I said earlier on, we'll be looking at the new curriculum by the federal government for the new session and the new Ondo State policy for this new session. We'll get to talk about this topic, and we have a special guest in the house. He is the chairman of Academic Staff Union of Secondary School. He's no other but Comrade Tajudeen Balogun. Thanks for coming, sir.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
All right.
Good morning, our viewers at home. Hope you are enjoying the cold weather.
Okay. So let's look at the new policy. Can you please enlighten us on this new Ondo State policy for the new session?
Well, thank you very much. The new Commissioner for Education, Professor Ibekele Ajibefu, when he came on board, he brought some reforms, some removal, some addition to what has been on ground before his arrival. And among such policies, we have major key areas that it actually talked upon, and it's on the issue of first, this is the issue of graduation being celebrated by students in the moving from maybe kindergarten to nursery, from nursery to primary school, from primary to secondary, up to JS3. That was the essence of carrying out such things. For a child that doesn't even know the focus, major focus in life, so to say, you now celebrating. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So that it's mere waste of resources and unnecessary burden on parents, by especially the private schools. Because some of these things you don't find in public schools. But because he's a commissioner that is for all, both public and private schools, so he has to come out with some policies, and that was the first major one. So for anybody who is leaving school now, just finish, go to the next stage. Because we have seen cases where it had serious psychological effect on children, because whose parents were not able to meet up with some of the funfair that is being done in doing such celebration. So that was the first one. You have another area which talked about the textbook reuse, the use of textbook. That is, a student should be able to use, a junior student now should be able to use the textbook that was already used by his or her elder brother or sister. You find out that our publishers, this is what they do. They will just produce textbook. The workbook will be inside the textbook itself. So I haven't written something on it already, so did you know I cannot use it again? But you recall that during our days when we were growing up, when we were in schools, in fact, I made bold to say that I still use my daddy's book. The book my daddy used when he was in the University of Ife. He was an entomologist there, may so rest in peace. I used some of his books, great books, when I was also studying, because I also went into agriculture too. So you can now find out that had it been then he had walked inside, there's no way I would have used it. So now the commissioner came up with his team that, look, at least a student should be able to use textbook that the other one used, insofar that the book is still okay, it's not torn, it's intact. So this is one of the policy also came out. Then this issue of policy on digitalization of schools. With this, we are in a century, in a generation where everything has gone technical, digital, and he wants to continue with this. We have some schools who are already into it before. We don't talk about robotics and what have you. They are doing it. But now we want it extended to almost all the schools in the state. Though there will be challenges because on this issue of power supply and what have you, but I think the state government, ably led by our own governor, Ayedatiwa, and this is why I congratulate him for his victory at the Supreme Court, and we hope now he will be settled down and face the things that should be done in the education sector and other sectors for that matter in the state. So I congratulate Mr. Governor. So on this same policy, there's also this policy of now bringing regulation. We want to regulate schools, especially. Most of these things boils down on private schools. For that of government school, yes, there are standards that must be met and work along that line. But for private school, you have cases where you have 2-3 rooms apartment. They will say it's a school, and they won't just stop saying school. They will say international school. So you begin to wonder. So all these are policies. Then you want to look at even schools coming up with, though they have not come out strongly on the issue of schools in Nigeria, on those states especially, where you now begin to hang flags of various nations in your school compound. You just have one Nigerian flag. At most, if you want to add again, if you have a specific flag for your school, you can add it to that of Nigeria. Why bring a 2-3 room school? You put the flag of USA, of UK, and others. No, it's uncalled for. So these are some of the policies. Then he also went further to now say that they will support stakeholders in education. And this one is a specific focus on private schools. For the schools that are doing well, they will see how they can come to their aid in the issuance of some policies and infrastructure and some other amenities that will be beneficial, especially in the area of technology. On that of regulation, so that I said earlier on, they now hammered that private schools will be re-registered. So for those who are unable to meet up with the standard that will ensure that they have been registered, to close down such schools, and there must be a standard. The commissioner and the state government, they are not ready to compromise in the issue of standard of those states are education states. So we should be able to be seen to be in the forefront. So these are some of the policies that he brought when he came, and we are hoping and we are giving awards and stakeholders in that sector. We'll work with them to ensure that success is achieved. Thank you.
So it's one thing to make policy. It's another thing to make it effective.
Yeah, you know, we've not come to that actually, because if you want to talk on that.
So when is it kick-starting actually?
Yes,
because we're excited.
Yes, we've started it already for that of even that of the federal government too. I know you still get there. It's supposed to start with this academic session, 2025-2026 academic session. It has started, though each state will demonstrate the federal government policy. But for this one that originated from Ondo State, all schools have been informed. Before he took this decision he called for a stakeholders meeting. We met twice. There was a time he met with all secondary school principals and proprietors of schools. We met at Aquinas College, where all these policies were read out and was assented. We were in support of it. And at another forum too, we also called for another meeting where all these things were discussed. So we are aware of it. Circulars have been issued. For anybody who now says is not aware of such, I know it is because of that awareness. That's why you are bringing me on air to talk about it, because you are also heard about it too. So we are ready. 2025-2026 academic session is already in place, and the commissioner has zero tolerance for indiscipline. And you know, indiscipline starts from you not adhering to what are the instructions and policies of the state in any particular area. So we pray that the political will to carry out all these instructions will have do it to the best of our ability.
Let me come to this point now. Because of this reform we are talking about. Number one, when you want to make major reforms, reforms are not something you come up with within 1 month and you said we're going to effect it. Even in advanced countries, you hear countries saying, okay, by next year, this reform is going to take effect. That is to prepare people ahead of time, to give them ample opportunities to know there are things that needs to be addressed internally and the rest. But this one, it was even during this holiday that meeting you're talking about was held. And I think we had more than a month to the time it was expected to be implemented.
Most of all, we've already bought books.
But as at that time, parents were already preparing. Schools are already rolled out things that needed to be done. So, don't you think the timing could have been better considered?
Well, thank you very much. I want to say there is no better time than now that is done. Yes, it's true, the time might be short, but you also have to consider the fact that when was he appointed as a commissioner? He was appointed Commissioner for Education not quite long, and that it came suddenly. Some of these things that our leaders do implement, there are some that is already on the drawing board before they came on board. But at times you have people who are there, they might not have that will, that strong will to effect some of these policies. Let me give you an example. During the days of Jonathan, President, our former President Goodluck Jonathan, there is this policy of the single treasury account, the remitter payment and what have you. He was able to do that of remitter payment. He did not implement that of the single treasury account. When late President Buhari, may so rest in peace, came on board, he went further to implement that of the single treasury account. It wasn't as if that it was when Buhari came that was done. No, it has been there. So, ditto to this one, we have some of these policies that rolled out. People have been complaining, especially parents. Parents have been complaining, but you know, in this part of the world, we tend to want to say, well, they cannot even kill me. We will try our best. Especially these private schools, they know how they do their things. They will make sure they will look at those who are very vocal in meetings when they come. They will ensure that such people are the executive of the PTA, whether you call it Parents Association, you call it Parents Forum. There will be people that will be in charge. So when they want to bring out any policy that affects the students of the school, these people, they will be in the forefront, they will be in support of such policies. So when you now get to meeting, you as a parent who felt that it's not too good, you want to talk, the voice of others will suppress you. Then they will say, don't worry, let us pay this. We thank God that children are not sick. If the child is sick, it's money you will spend, this and that, you understand. So, but with government coming up with this policy, and it says, clear directive to all schools. Because in no time too, we just said this private. Some other public schools are also into it. They are into it. If you see a student who just finished uniform that the junior might should have been able to use, they just mess it up with signing. I don't understand. What are they signing? So in terms of that timing, sir, if he says he want to wait, don't forget that this is a fresh academic session. If we don't do it now, that means we'll wait for an average of about 9 months. Then we will now be talking of 2026, 2027 academic session. By that time, a lot would have been done. It's a gradual process. You cannot just achieve all at once. But since we have been told, gradually we'll begin to implement until we get to perfection. So, for me, the timing is still all right.
I'm sorry, I know my colleague has a lot to ask. Let me just come up and ask this question.
Yeah,
because we're talking about use of books. And I know that in Nigeria and also in Ondo State, books that are to be used are approved by government, by ministry, not individuals.
No.
So because we're talking, because the way we make this thing look like is that it's the schools that make parents or children to do this thing. The publishers bring books, government assess, and say, okay, this one is approved. It means it has been government also.
Okay.
God also has been culpable.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Issue.
Thank you, but well, holistically, if you look at it, you want to say, well, government should have been able to regulate, and that's what they are doing now. The thing is, when people bring books to the ministry, there's a committee that assesses the quality of that book. Is it worth it and what have you? Yes, they'll say these are the books that are approved. I think the only way where I will now say government should have been able to stand this is to now say, for English language, for example, this is the textbook we have approved. Not approving more than one. So that school A will use one, school B will use the other. If you are using intensive, let it be intensive all over. Not using essential, using intensive. So you now have you have a child who maybe, for example, the parent relocated from one part of the state, from the state to another, within the same
even
state,
from one school
to another within the same. I know this time, and what I'm trying to say is that in terms of residential location, a parent who lives
in the same town,
if it's within the same town, I think the child can still continue to go to the school that he or she is.
Not that at times parents can just decide to say,
yes,
I want to change school.
Yeah, if you want, yes.
And we have all these books.
Yes, if parents want to change school, now it's part of it too. Having one book for school A, then school B will say this one they are using. And in some cases, the other one might not be just more than 2-3 months old, the textbook that you bought. You don't have to go and rebuy again. That is what, a part of that policy of the textbook usage is that a school should at least use a book for 4 years before you talk about getting another different one for that same subject. So that is part of the policy. So for that coming, you find out that some of these private schools too, if you do your investigation, there are some books that they use you don't get ordinarily on the bookshops around. Yes. They will just go to publishers specially so that you're able to put high cost on it. If you want to go and buy it outside, you won't get it. So government is still coming to that. Books that government approves should be available in books. And also, the state government is also fighting this issue of piracy. They are trying to help the booksellers now and the publishers that anybody that is caught selling pirated material will be in serious problem. That's to tell you the extent that the commissioner is serious about this issue of textbooks.
That book issue is really a serious.
Yeah, it's a serious. Yes, we are parents. Yes.
The amount we buy books is more than the school fees we pay.
That is it.
A child of nursery one, you are buying almost 50,000 naira and beyond.
And some of these books that they make people to buy, some they are not even useful. They are not used. There are some you buy those so you keep it in the school. Some that they bring at home, you don't use it. But we thank God we have gone past that stage. But for those of you
really
who are
still My elder brother's modern biology, I can use it.
During our time, the book that my elder sister used in school was the book I used.
And it will help you maintain that book well. You will not spoil it.
We're even competing. Those days, they were doing cement with paper. The paper bag is cement paper.
So
we will now wrap it, use newspaper to wrap. We'll make competition. Also, will be neater at the end of the. Our parents even give us a gift.
Okay, use your book very well. Like Macmillan. Yes. Sorry for mentioning them.
And at the time also you had books in the school library. That even for the less privileged that could not afford,
you go to the library.
When it's time to read,
you have library
other
periods.
People are bringing their own out. Okay, school can say, okay, for this child, you take, read, return.
So when you now have a lot of pirated copies flying all over the place,
I can't even remember the name of the publisher of all these books that
so many. You hold just mere holding it is torn already because the quality is so bad. So I think government is waking up and trying to bring sanity in that sector.
Okay, so looking at the introduction of robotics and AI courses,
that's now going to the federal government
policy. How prepared are these schools?
This will come back to the issue of timing.
Yes, when you say timing, it's been on for a very long time, but it's not all schools that. For example, in Ondo State, I know I'm very sure a lot of Ashai Girls Grammar School, Aquinas College, the CAC, this Oyemekun Grammar School. I think those schools are some. The SMD, there are also schools that have been doing these courses before. But won't it extended? It has been there. But it's the preparedness. Are the finances there? Are the teachers who are going to teach this subject, are they available?
And the facilities.
The facilities to go. What about power? So all these are issues. But we know you cannot get it if you don't start it. So I think that's what they are trying to do now. So let's see how it goes. They will start it and gradually we'll begin to adjust and we'll get it right. So for those schools that are already doing, they are being encouraged. There are stipends that the students pay for schools that are offering these courses just to complement what government is doing. But largely, the finances of such things is from the state government. And I know for the federal government college, they may not have serious problem. But what we all continue to say is that you have to make the teachers who are going to teach readily available. And that will also, maybe next time, will also take us to the issue of welfare. That no matter how good it is that policies that you bring, reforms that you bring, if you don't bring reforms that will better the lot of teachers, their welfare, then you are still going nowhere.
So, and training,
retraining, yes, these are issues. Yes.
And like I will still go back to, do we have laboratories?
We have laboratories.
Because I'm coming because in the past, as an individual, I've been involved in at least we're organizing children for science tech competition.
Okay.
And I noticed that some of those things we say those children do. I'm very sorry. I'm not being skeptical or pessimistic. Some of the schools, it's not all. They don't do it. They just hire somebody outside that prepare it, then they come and read what it is for them. Not because those children cannot do it, but because they don't have what it takes.
Well,
they don't practically.
I wouldn't want to say yes, and I also don't want to say no to what we have just said. Because to the best of my knowledge, I know the government of Ondo State, before this time, past and present, they have been trying. They've been trying their best in making sure that laboratory equipment apparatus are made available to schools. But when it now comes to the place of effective usage, that might have some issues. In some schools, you will have issue of thieves cutting away some of these materials and what have you. In some schools, you don't have power supply. Is it school that you don't have means of generating power? How do you carry out more of this, especially in the technical areas? But for practicals that involves maybe physics, chemistry, biology, I think
those ones are easier to get.
Yes.
But we're talking about technology.
When you bring that,
when we're going to technology,
when you go to proper technology,
yes,
challenges of power.
We're going to those area of coding where you need.
Yes, for coding and robotics now, it is not all school that can go into. But I think for across the 3 senatorial districts of the state, if you can have up to maybe 50 schools in each of these senatorial districts that are doing it, I think it's a good.
Don't you think? Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't you think it will deprive some students the opportunity to perform well when they do exams like WAEC? While some are already ahead, some are just starting.
No, now you see, that's another area you are taking us to, because this issue of WAEC, the ICT based exam and what have you, are they prepared for it?
Because trust Nigerians.
Look at it.
When it comes to exam, now you will be surprised to see it in our final.
Where she is going to is this: you want to set question for us on the same exam and on the same
some are ahead of me.
Yes.
Why? Not by my own making, but by the virtue of the system in place. I have never been exposed to some of those things.
No, there is no school now that.
And you are now asking, no, let me tell you.
It's a federal government policy.
Yes, all I'm saying is that there is no school now that doesn't teach their students computer science. You see, the exam is computer.
I'm coming. Teaching me computer science.
Yes.
I could remember some years ago I was discussing with somebody. I grew up in a poor village. When a friend of mine then saw a computer
set.
Monitor,
not
monitor, set, okay. Computer monitor.
Yeah.
The boy was very excited then when we were growing. Oh, he has seen a television. He saw a television.
That was then. Now, now,
I can still mention. If I may not want to mention, I can still mention places where you cannot find a single computer in a school.
Well,
yeah, and we are in the same school.
See, the thing is, you might be right that we might have 1 or 2 schools where they don't have computers. Yes, but you won't tell
not
me.
1 or 2.
Wait, but you not tell me
in an environment.
You can't tell me now that in Ondo State, let's narrow it down to Ondo State now. That in Ondo State today, that will have a community where you don't have somebody who owns an Android phone. The workability of this thing is almost similar.
I'm coming, sir.
Similarity.
See, Android phone is different from.
No. What I'm saying is that they teach them computer science. They might not have enough computers in school to do the practicals.
But
at least
having at all.
They will know definitely. There's no school you get to that you don't have. There's no school. Do your research. Come and tell me. There's no school you get. There's no school you get to in Ondo State today that doesn't have a computer.
Because while we are saying this one is adequate preparation.
Yes, even when you have these things in place, that's what we are saying. That are they enough up to the level that WAEC will say they want to do computer-based exam? JAMB that is doing, do you know the challenges they are facing?
And these are the selling courses that young people want to go into, like AI coding and all
now that's what we want to do.
You are introducing it, and
the challenge now will now fall back on parents.
If I'm talking about primary school, secondary school, going to robotics, whatever, in our higher institutions, how much of it have we done? Because I think recently I was talking with a child. I wouldn't want to mention the relationship of the child with me. He said he wants to go and study robotic engineering in the university, and I helped the child to search through the prospectus or the whatever of all schools in Nigeria. No single school, a higher institution offering robotic engineering. The closest you could have is mechatronics.
Yes.
Now, if a child, even at university level, could not be sure of offering the course in Nigeria, how much are we really think we are sincere in some of those policies?
Well, yes, you see, you just have to start from somewhere. That is not available in a higher institution today doesn't mean it will not be there tomorrow. Let our students concentrate on the ones we have now. For those whose parents are rich enough to take them outside to study, fine.
I was coming to that. Now, parents are rich enough. Majority parents.
How was the percentage of the rich enough?
Yes, for the ones.
What is the percentage of the rich enough you're talking about?
The issue we have, one of the problems we have in Nigeria concerning parents is this issue of status ego. The child of Mr. A is attending this school, my child must also attend. They will fail to look at their own resources. Are you getting it? That is why you see today that the population in some environment, population of entrance into public school is reducing. while that of the private school is increasing, no matter not minding the facilities that's on ground. I made bold to say today, and I stand to be corrected, that in major competitions, students from the public schools are excelling. They excel far better than students from the. But you find our parents who, no, is this school want to go, that private school, this private school. These are part of the challenges. So for our children, they should look through and look at the courses that are available for them to study here in Nigeria. Do you understand? Robotics engineering.
By our policy, by our system, we are limiting.
See, by the time
we are limiting what they can do.
So for somebody who now studies robotic engineering, for example, where is such person going to work? For now, you see, that is the reason why. That is the reason of the new.
Everybody must not work. We have people that invent.
Everybody, if you invent, you are also working.
I saw a video.
When we are coming with the idea of when you graduate, which job is waiting for you, then we are limiting our children.
No, government. You are talking about government job. My own idea of work now is not government. It's any work you want to do. You want to study robotic engineering, either for public, either for private. Who are the stakeholders who you want to work for?
Most young people don't want to work for anybody again.
They want to develop software. They want to invent.
Yes,
they want to come with inventions. They want to come with the problem we are facing in our country. How can I solve it?
Yes, if they invent, it's good. They can sell to the public. For those who need it, they will buy. But what I'm still telling you, sir, is that for now, the ones that are available, let us make use.
Let's manage it.
For those ones. Then, as these policies are coming up, we will continue to now call on government to make facilities available. You understand? So that is why I think they are waking up now. That's the reason of this new curriculum that we are talking about, the new curriculum for schools from the federal level. That is the mindset that they have. We want studies that are effective, not just go to school for the sake of going to school. Any wise parent now should be able to advise his or her son his or her son or daughter to pick courses that is useful. Not just go to the university because you want to go to university. No, there are some courses that are in the university today that are not useful to us.
That brings me to the subject of history. The introduction of history.
Yes, that is good.
If you go to most universities, even technical, they don't study history anymore. So why did they bring it back to our curriculum?
You see, Nigeria, the Gen Z generation we have now, some of them derailed because there is no link with the past. Are you getting it? At the time, they said, what is history? Leave that alone. What is CROK, Christian, leave Islamic, leave that. Guardian counseling, they push all these things away from schools. At that point, students, they lost it out completely. History is important. For example, today, when we're growing up now, we hear Azikiwe, Awolowo, Amadu Bello, all this, what they did at that time, the great Mansa Musa and others. You feel challenged. I want to be like this. Now, this work that you are doing now, there are some students at home watching us. Because of the way you are presenting, will not take interest in journalism. You are role models. Same thing we want that teachers are supposed to be to the students in school, and we are trying our best to be role models to them. Then they are replacing it now with the issue of citizenship. So if you are a good citizen of your country, you should know what is expected of you. You should know that it will be wrong for you to kill a family human being because you want to get rich. You know that it is wrong for you to destroy government property because you want to go and sell to make money. You study history, you know about past leaders who achieved. When President Jonathan said on air then that he wore his first shoe, I think I can't remember the age now, but I think he was well out of the secondary school before he said he wore his first shoe. But he was able to forge ahead and became the president. He was a governor, he became president of the country. So any child can just pick that up. This man that went to school doesn't even have shoes. Now I have shoes. Let me thank God and remain. You want to focus. So history, we cannot throw it away. When they threw away guardian counseling, now they are bringing them back. There's nobody in schools now. We don't even have enough of them in schools anymore. Nobody to tell these students what to do. No, the parents alone cannot do it. Teachers alone cannot do it. So we have to work hand in hand to make sure that we mold these children. So that's the usefulness of some of this. Later they said civic education. Now they are combining everything to now form that of a citizenship. So it's good that it is being reintroduced.
Okay, so what message do you have for parents, teachers, and students in this new academic session?
Well, the message is always simple. Let us try as much as possible to our best. Parents should be alive to their responsibility. We are in a generation where we served our parents. Now we are serving our children. We can't run away from it. So let us be alive to our responsibility. Provide the necessary things that the students ought to have, give them, and also ensure that you don't make your children teachers your enemy. There's nothing bad if you have the number of your child's 1 or 2 teachers that you can always call. Is my son, daughter in school? You will find out. For the teachers, let's continue to do what we are doing. Our reward is no longer in heaven, it's just it's here on earth. What we do to these children today will reap tomorrow, whether we like it or not. Then for government, they should try as much as possible to make all facilities available. Policies are good. There must be monitoring and evaluation to ensure that these policies are actually done. And above all, take care of the teachers. Teachers should not be made second-class citizens of any nation. And no nation can rise above its level of education. And we are the molders. We are the builders of our profession. We taught you. You
Yes,
cannot
sir.
say, we taught you. So they should take care of teachers so that we'll be able to give back to the society what we ought to do without going through much stress.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Chairman
Yes, sir.
of Academic Staff Union of Secondary School, Comrade Tajuddin Balogun.
Thank you very much.
So we are so grateful for being here, and thank you for bearing the heat. You know, we are parents and we are also the voice of people watching.
Yeah, I'm
And
also a parent too. I'm also feeling it somewhere.
hopefully we'll bring the Commissioner of Education
Okay.
here next week so that he will come and say his own part of the story too.
Okay.
All right, so the
Thank
program continues shortly with our entertainment segment. Stay with us.